believes, because you got people saying they should be accepted for who they are, even though they're not matching the majority.
Right.
And I mean, here or there, I figured if they were accepting themselves for who they were, they wouldn't necessarily be in a state of transition like a lot of them are anyway to begin with. However,
Right.
aside from that, I don't think that it's not always according to the majority, but but either way, you're still having to select one moral aspect to be a certain thing, but
Right.
in this case, you're accepting it at the expense of ignoring so many other moral aspects that you're having to stomp on to get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I posted an article where I forget who the author was, and I might get their book, but it talks about how the whole plan for the American Evangelical Church to be LGBTQ friendly was planned out. This was planned out like years in advance before it even began. And it gives you the footprint and DNA on how it actually worked its way through the system.
Well, and even if you don't go with the LGBTQ, because it seems like I think we beat that up enough as it is, but even when you go to something like the morality structure of wearing a face mask when the world says this is a pandemic, when it's been proven time and time again that it wasn't a pandemic.
Right.
It's been proven time and time again that the masks were completely ineffective. But again, your moral character was called into question if you did not submit to the will of the majority.
Right. And again, it was the hard part is for like my work, you couldn't get on the premises unless you put that mask on.
Right. Right.
They had them hanging free in our lobby. You could pick one up and toss it in the trash on your way out the door. But you know what? In order to get into the premises, you had to wear that mask.
Well, and think about the life-altering chemicals that were being required by some employers that says you have to have this particular Java juice to be able to continue your employment here. And later they come back and said, well, that was a mistake. Well, it doesn't matter. You've now given...
You've already injected it in the person.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to become unvaccinated, quote unquote.
Yeah. Especially in an mRNA vaccination, Guess what? That's part of your DNA now.
Yeah.
Yep.
mRNA.
Why I was against it.
Well, I thank the good Lord I'm a pureblood, so there we go.
Yeah, I am so glad that, because the conversation I had with my wife on several occasions during the pandemic was, it's like, you know what? If they mandate a vaccination, we're going to have to lose everything. Either that or else I sign up and do it, and you know what? I'll probably, with my heart condition, croak in like 3 years. And
well, some of you guys know, and I don't know if we're just going to do a straight recording or if you're going to edit this, Kenzie, but some of you guys know when I first moved to Paducah, I was in the hospital for 17 days because of blood clots that they couldn't figure out. Every single doctor that came to me, and I think I counted 14 or 16 doctors that came to me, everyone asked the initial conversation, and the initial question was, have you been vaccinated? And when I told them no, everyone said the same thing. Thank God you would probably already be dead.
Yeah. I got one news for you. That's every time I go to our medical offices, we have Kaiser, which is an HMO. They ask, would you like a vaccination? I'm like, COVID's dead. I've had it twice, maybe 3 times. I go, it's,
So much for natural immunity, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, it's ridiculous. It's like, look, I don't want the flu shot. I don't want the,
I'm right there with you, my friend. I'm right there with you. It's incredible to think that they keep asking. I saw something just the other day where they're still pushing the COVID-19 vaccination. And I'm like, look, I've made it almost 4 years without it. I've not gotten COVID since then.
That you know of.
Oh, no, I know because they've checked for the antibodies. So I've not gotten COVID. So with that being said, maybe my blood's just special enough that I ain't going to get it. I don't know.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'd roll with. I'm going to go with what God gave me versus,
Exactly.
What's your blood type?
B positive.
There's a thing with blood types.
Isn't AB negative like the most resistant?
No, I think A is the most susceptible to COVID.
I said resistant.
Oh. I don't remember. Hang on a second, guys.
You're the blood work person. Why don't you remember?
Because that doesn't impact my work directly, especially after we stopped giving the convalescent plasma. I don't remember getting type B plasma for that. Just O and A.
Somebody made the comment the other day, and I thought it was hilarious. Made the comment that when this whole thing went down with Biden, that what they said was, Biden, here's the deal. We gave you quote unquote COVID, and either you resign and die, and then we give you the treatment, or you choose not to resign and you die from your experience. I kept thinking to myself, they said that he had COVID. He's had every vaccination possible.
Yep.
And he's had COVID like 7 times.
Yeah.
Shows how well the vaccine works.
I was going to say, I don't think it does what you think it does.
All right, so is this horse dead? Does it have enough beat marks on it, or?
I don't know. It seems like we was beating on a horse in the stall next door throughout half of this argument. Going into teleological and everything else, and I mean...
All I know is I've been through the desert on a horse with no name.
It's good to get out of the rain.
That's right. There you go.
Why is it raining in the desert?
Listen to that song now. Sorry.
It rains in the desert from time to time, just not often enough.
Questions, comments, compliments, criticisms, suggestions. Shoot us an email to tincanradio@protonmail.com.